Hey, what's good? Coach Colin Castello with Shotmechanics Basketball, back with another video where today I'm going to teach you the one move that you absolutely need to have if you're going to play in the NBA nowadays. So we're definitely in a new era in the NBA where smaller players can still be successful, and you don't have to be some sort of genetic freak who's 6'8", 6'9", or 6'10" to be able even just to make a roster, right? We're seeing smaller guys like Steph, Curry and Trae Young, and now even a guy like Ja Morant be able to be really effective in the league because they've got a specific skill set that actually fits. So today what I want to do is teach you the one move and the one finish you've got to have in your bag to be able to play in the NBA no matter what your size is. But before we jump into it, click the top link in the description down below and get free instant access to my Insta Buckets workout. This is a quick hitting 5-minute workout I put together specifically for you to help you score more points the next time you step out on the court, and it's 100% free. Go ahead and check it out. Top link in the description down below. Now, what is this magic move? What is this mythical, thing that you have to add to your game to be dynamic, to be able to score the ball and to stay, a threat every time you're on the court? It's this. It's the floater. The floater finish has kind of revolutionized the game, and it's really equaled the playing field for a lot of times smaller players, right? So if you can master a floater, no matter your size, you'll be able to play at any level because you can still score the basketball in the paint. Now, let's start out with what is a floater, right? A lot of players don't really fully understand. A floater is just the idea of once I get into the paint and I'm getting in kind of this mid-range area where I'm closer than the free throw line, but I'm further out than a layup, it's a finished package in this area. Now, there's kind of a few different options. There's floaters where you're going off of 2 feet. There's runners where you're going off of 1 foot. We're gonna focus specifically on more of the 2-footed floater today, right? So basically, the first key that you need to have is a quick 2-footed jump stop, right? So on a floater, you'll notice that most players that are really good at it is they're gonna come low and they're gonna stay nice and squeaky with their feet. They're not gonna do a big thud and a big pound, right? If you're jumping really high on your jump stop to begin with on a floater, it's gonna kill your momentum, it's gonna be slower, and it's gonna be harder on your knees. So key number one, you wanna pretend like you're silent like a ninja. So as I'm getting ready to shoot a floater, I'm staying low, I'm staying quick, I'm staying springy, right? Key number two on a floater, this is a one-handed shot. This is a one-handed shot. So as I go into my shot, I'm gonna drop off my guide hand, and I'm gonna keep my palm underneath, and I'm just gonna get at a nice high push, just like this. One thing I always like to think about on a floater is we're going palm to the ceiling. Palm to the ceiling. So as I get it up, I'm gonna let it go, and my palm's gonna go to the ceiling. Now, one kind of thing that you wanna think about on this release is we do what we call a dead hand release. Now, normally when we're shooting a normal shot or maybe a runner, we're gonna flex our wrist and snap, just like this. But with a floater, we're gonna go a dead hand release where we're pushing it out of our hand and we're keeping our palm to the ceiling, just like that. Now by doing that, you're gonna get better, softer touch on the rim because as we're getting into the paint, we're really gonna want those extra soft bounces and soft rolls because with a floater, a lot of times all you gotta do is get it on the rim and it's gonna have a chance, right? So key number one, quick jump stop off of 2 feet. Key number two, we're gonna go kind of a dead palm on the release, just like that. And key number three here is I would always shoot a floater with your dominant hand until you get unbelievable at it. A big mistake that a lot of players make when they train their floaters is they shoot them with their right hand, then they'll shoot them with their left hand, and they'll go back and forth. Now, in a perfect world, yes, you should be able to shoot a floater with both hands, right? But most of the time, if you watch most game footage and you look at most of the floater actions that players get, very rarely is there something happening in the game that doesn't allow you to shoot with your right hand or your dominant hand, right? Very rarely do I get inside the paint to shoot a floater and have somebody right here, and the only way I can shoot is to switch to my left and be able to do it. So a big mistake a lot of young players make is they equal out the refs left and right, and then they get into the game and they're equally crappy at both of them, right? So instead, we want to develop your dominant hand first because you're going to get a lot more looks with that. And then once you master it, then feel free to start working on that left-handed floater or that off-handed floater, right? So that's a super important key when it comes to your floater development because if you're, kind of splitting hands back and forth, you're basically not gonna be able to hit any floaters instead of getting your one hand dialed in, and then as soon as it's, kind of really there, then you can start working on the other ones, right? So those are a couple big time keys to the floater that you wanna make sure that you're hitting. That way, the next time you're in game, you'll be able to make more floaters, you're able to pull that second line of the defense out, and you're gonna be able to have a scoring option when maybe you couldn't get to the hoop and maybe you couldn't shoot the mid-range on a pullback or step back or something like that. All right, so next up, we've got a drill to help you master kind of that floater when you're getting into the teeth of the defense once you've beaten your kind of original defender. So we're gonna go triple combo floater. So right now I've got 2 cones set up, one on the left wing, one on the right wing. You can use whatever you want. You can use a shoe, you can use, an old shirt, just basically something to kind of represent where a defender's at for you to do the first triple combo. So I'm gonna start with the ball in my outside hand, closest to the sideline, and I'm gonna start with a 3-move combo that's a crossover between the legs to a behind the back. So it'll look kind of like this. I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna plant, I'm gonna go crossover between the legs, and I'm gonna wrap a behind the back middle. So instead of going sideways with my behind the back, I'm going to wrap it forwards and go downhill, right? As soon as I start going downhill and I get into this spot, that's where I'm gonna, at the free throw line, I'm gonna drop into my 2-footed hop, and I'm gonna shoot my floater somewhere in between the charge circle and the free throw line, right? I'm gonna shoot all these with my dominant hand. I'm gonna shoot them all with my right. I'm gonna get my floater up on this side, then I'm gonna peel back out to the opposite. Again, start with the ball on my outside hand. I'm gonna start with a crossover between the legs behind the back. I'm gonna hop, doing the same thing, right-handed floater. I'm working back and forth multiple times. Now, if you wanna put more cones out to work on different angles, more power to you, but this is kind of the most simple setup that we can do. That way we're getting great reps with the combos, getting by our defenders, and getting those reps before the second line of the defense comes. All right, now this video is great, but if you want to instantly increase your points per game and your scoring average, all you got to do is click the top link in the description down below and get free access to my Insta-Bucket workouts. This is a quick 5-minute hitting workout that's going to get you better every single time you step on the court and help you score more points, and it's 100% free. Also, if you're new to Shotmechanics, hammer that subscribe button, then head to the comment section down below and let me know what sort of video you want to see next. This is a great community, and it's a channel that's for the people, by the people, and we run pretty much everything off a request, so leave it down below and hopefully we'll be able to get to it. And if you're a loyal member of the Splash Army, hit that like button and also leave a comment. We always love to hear from you as well. All right, again, I'm Coach Colin Castell with Shotmechanics Basketball. Thanks for watching, and until next time, splash on.